This video covers water temperature, a rant on the Chelsea Flower Show, conditions to thrive, and the koi to choose. I have a 5,500 gallon main pond, which is currently at 4 degrees C, which I would also love to heat, but it's simply beyond my budget. But I can afford to heat 750 gallons in the shed as a grow-on pond, which has produced some staggering results over the years. 50% of the growth in a koi's life is in the first year. 25% of growth is in the second year. So 75% of the growth in a koi is over the first 2 years. So if we want to make the best use of a koi's potential for growth, we have to heat the water for the koi to thrive in those early years. If we look at a year in the UK as a whole, October and November in the autumn, and April and May in the spring are what I would call cool water temperatures. And December, January, February, March are really cold water temperatures. Just stick your hand in if you don't believe me. Which leaves just 4 months of warmish water to grow your jumbo koi in: June, July, August and September. Or to look at it another way, 2/3 of the year the water is cool or cold with little or no growth your koi are trying to survive in. And 1/3 of the year your koi can actually thrive. I'm not talking about force feeding or feeding hormones. Just give them the conditions that they need to thrive. They will do the rest. If you're wondering why you never see me sat in front of the camera spouting forth, it is because I'm too good looking. No, it's not. It's because I have a thing with programs on TV like the Chelsea Flower Show, where you tune in to watch a flower show. Well, I do. And you get a presenter sprouting forth at great length, and the flowers are in the background, out of focus. It's so infuriating. I want to watch the flowers, not the presenter. So I assume you want to watch koi and not me sprouting forth putting the world to rights. But let me know what you would like in the comments. If you're a returning viewer, please can I ask why you haven't clicked the subscribe button? After all, it's completely free. I'm trying to grow koi breeding. I need your support by liking and sharing with the koi keeping community. Thank you. So what are those conditions that koi need to thrive? Warm water, 18C or above, so a heater is a must. Good water quality is also a must, with a jumbo filter with spare capacity to service all the waste both mechanically and biologically. An air pump to introduce air into the pond, as koi and all the biological stages use oxygen. Good food. Whatever you can afford, but cheap food is more expensive in the long run. A little and often is the secret with food, so an auto feeder is a must. I use a Fishmate P7000 on a frequent feed setting. Top athlete has a very strict diet, and the same is true of koi. Our top athlete would not go to a fast food chain and expect to gain muscle. They know that they would gain only weight and fat. Very soon after a constant feeding on fast food, they would become couch potatoes. Food is a vital part of the development in koi. Ignore it at your peril. But so many koi keepers do, believing in the belief that cheap food is just as good as more expensive food. You're just paying for the brand name, aren't you? No, You're not paying for the brand name, you're paying for better ingredients. Cheap food is cheap for a reason. You get what you pay for. Check the ingredients on a cheap food and then check it off against a more expensive brand. One, the waste is far more in cheaper food, and they're cheaper for a reason. They have to save costs somehow to make a profit. They do this by cheaper alternative sources like poultry waste and bulking out the food with fillers, which have no nutritional value. So you end up feeding more cheaper food. You get less growth, but you do get more waste. Last but not least, you need a decent koi to grow on. A good example is the Ginrin Monotero, which will grow to jumbo for sure. It has more than doubled its size from 30 to 60 plus in 6 months. Just look at the body and the frame and the mouth. And the fact that it never stops eating helps. The Dainichi Showas are also good examples. Their growth is documented in videos on the channel, so be sure to check them out. Please help me to grow koi breeding by subscribing and liking the video.